Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's Cone back here again today with another video, and today we're again going to be talking some Oklahoma City Thunder basketball. I took a look at my channel yesterday trying to figure out what to make a video about because it's the offseason, nothing's happening, and I realized I haven't talked about the Thunder in like over a month, which for me is way too long. So we're going to go ahead and talk some OKC, and in particular today, I want to talk a bit about our young core and one member in particular. Now, of course, we've got a pretty stacked young core over here in Oklahoma City. I think we've got the best in the league. I think most people have decided that as well at this point. It, of course, is headlined by Gilgeous-Alexander, who made All-NBA first team this past year, finished top 5 in MVP voting, future MVP in my very humble opinion. He also averaged over 30 points per game, really burst onto the scene as one of the next rising young superstars in the league. We've got Josh Giddey, who I think most people also realize is one of the best young guards in the entire association. He's still below 21 years old, which is ridiculous. Put up a near 30-point triple-double in our playing game against the Pelicans. A great playmaker and evolving scorer. I think him and Shea are going to be one of the best backcourts in the league for years to come as they continue on through their careers. Then there's Chet Holmgren, who we took at second overall this past draft. I was really high on him coming into the draft itself before I knew the Thunder were going to select him. And of course, now that he's a Thunder guy, I'm biased, and I think he's going to be incredible as a rim protector from day one. I think he showed a lot of that in Summer League and really all throughout college as well. He's bulked up a bit. He's the perfect fit at the big man spot alongside the other guys on this young team. I think we're going to be really good. One of the better teams in the Western Conference, mainly due to the play of those guys, but also one more guy in particular, and that player, of course, is Jalen Williams. J-Dub was phenomenal this past season. He's starting to get a lot more attention as of late, and it's for good reason. At the draft, the Thunder took him with the 12th overall pick, which is kind of surprising if you took a look at J-Dub leading into the draft process. He was more projected as like a late first round guy or an early second round player. He quickly shot up draft boards after impressing at the combine. Some of his physical measurables were just out of this world, and suddenly he was projected to be a lottery pick. And apparently, if the Thunder didn't take him there were like 3 or 4 teams ready lined up to try and take him with the next selection or try and trade up somewhere to steal Jalen Williams away from any of those other squads. But the Thunder get him with the 12th overall pick, the third first-round selection that we had in that draft, which is just crazy that we got him, Chet, and Ousmane Dieng all there in the top 12 picks. And yeah, right from his first moments in the preseason, J-Dub was incredible. It was clear that he could be really good and fit really well with the other players on this roster. He seemed to be very versatile. He had a bit of offensive chops and defensive chops. Didn't seem to need the ball in his hands. Could be an effective off-ball or on-ball scorer. He just seemed to be able to do a little bit of everything, which was perfect. That's exactly the type of player that we needed, and he did all of that in this past rookie season of his. Over the course of the year, he put up 14.1 points per game, 4.5 boards, 3.3 dimes, 1.4 steals, while shooting 52.1% from the field, 35.6% from 3, and 81.2% from the line. He finished second in Rookie of the Year voting behind Paolo Banchero, despite starting the year with not that many opportunities amongst a very crowded young rotation. This past year was a year where we were trying to experiment with different players in different situations and really try and figure out who should be part of this young core going into the future. Jalen Williams not only forced himself to be a staple of that core, but forced himself into the starting lineup, earning his stay there and contributing greatly to a near playoff berth for OKC, one of the youngest teams in NBA history last year. He did so with that really solid defense that he's shown consistently, efficient scoring, continuous improvement, and that Swiss Army knife-like versatility that made him so intriguing coming into the draft and so interesting going forward to the future. I'm so ridiculously high on Jalen Williams going forward. I think he's going to be an incredibly special player, and I wanted to make this video to explain exactly why that is the case, why I think he's in for an incredible sophomore season, and why ultimately he's going to be an all-star down the line in my opinion. I've also seen some people recently on Twitter, because people just like to find random takes during the offseason, say that Jalen Williams has gotten close to his ceiling because he's 22 years old, but I think that's an extremely surface level take. If you take a look at what he did this season, the rapid improvement from month to month, that was substantial, the skills that he showed off both offensively and defensively, I think it's pretty clear that Jalen Williams has a lot more in the tank, and the league should be kind of terrified of what he could become. So let's talk about why this is the case, and it begins with the progression I talked about that Jalen Williams showed over the course of the entire year. We talk a lot of times about the rookie wall. It's something that a lot of players hit in their debut campaigns, even some of the best. Paolo Banchero, who won Rookie of the Year nearly unanimously, hit one in February, where he shot just 3% from 3 over 11 games and dropped to his lowest point per game average in a month of the entire year. I don't want to take anything away from Paolo. Again, like I said, he was Rookie of the Year, and he was very deservingly so. He had a monster first campaign, but it was a rookie wall for him. Benedict Mathurin hit one too, also being one of the better rookies last season. He averaged over 20 points per game in his first month and dropped all the way down to 13.4 points per game in the months of February and March. Jalen Williams never really seemed to hit that wall though. He instead, like I mentioned earlier, progressed continuously and rapidly the entire year. Not including the month of October where he played 2 games and April where he played 3 games, here are his stats. In November, he put up 10.9 points per game, 3.4 rebounds, and 2.6 assists, while shooting 58.6 true shooting percentage. In December, 12.3 points per game, 4.2 boards, 2.7 dimes on a 57.2 true shooting percentage. January, 13.5 points per game, 4.5 boards, 3.1 assists on a 56.8 true shooting percentage. February, 14.9 points per game, 5.3 rebounds, 3.9 assists on a 59.5 true shooting percentage, and in March, 19.8 points per game, 6.1 boards, 4.5 dimes on a blistering 66.2 true shooting percentage. If you noticed, every single month he posted a career high in points per game, rebounds per game, and assists per game. That is a trend all the way through, which is just ridiculous. His efficiency was stable too, even though he was getting more opportunities, involved in the offense more, and experimenting more with ways that he could score. The efficiency didn't drop like you would probably expect it to do for a first-year player. That really never came. This is especially true in his month of March, which was absurd. Like I said, he shot 66.2 true shooting percentage, which is crazy for any player, never mind a rookie. And in that month, he really showcased a lot of the reasons why I'm so high on him. He put up 2 30-point games, 9 20-point games, including some of his best performances, being a 32.5 rebound, 5 assists, 2 block, 2 steal game against the Jazz, while he shot 80% from the field. Just a ridiculous performance. One of the best rookie performances that we saw the entirety of last season. He had a 31.4 rebound, 4 assist game versus Charlotte, who was one of the better defenses at the end of last season. He had a 27.8 rebound, 6 assist game versus the Pistons, where he hit a game winner in a game that we really needed to win in a matchup without Gilgeous-Alexander. He just did it all. He was scoring, he was rebounding, he was playmaking, he was getting steals, blocks, defending just across the board at a high level. It was one of the genuinely most impressive rookie months that I've seen from any player in recent history. The scoring in particular was just crazy because he was scoring in such a variety of ways. Mid-range pull-ups, finishing at a high level, a lot of finishes that look eerily similar to the way that Shea does, where he's slithery, he kind of explodes the rim, the change of speed, the change of direction is blisteringly quick. You really can't ever anticipate it, at least not continuously. You might get him once or twice, but other than that, he's going to get you off balance. The crazy athleticism, he would dunk on a lot of guys, finish in transition with these highlight slams. He's got great speed, and like I mentioned, the change of quickness is there, especially in transition. These floaters that he likes to go to where he'll be fading to the left and put it up with the offhand, that just, it doesn't make sense. It feels like it should be such an incredibly difficult shot, but he makes it look so easy. It's just across the board, high level scoring. And then the 3-point shooting, whether it's a catch and shoot look, it's him creating off the dribble. His 3-point shot really found its groove all throughout the season, and it feels like he can be consistently great at that deep look. One of the most impressive parts is there were a couple times throughout the season where he would just pull out a move that I had never seen from him before and execute it to perfection at game speed like he had been doing it his entire life. It was like in 2K, if you play, where you can buy new animations for your player and equip them, stuff that you couldn't do before. It's like he was doing that mid-season, just getting new animations, getting new moves that he really hadn't shown before and doing them with such ease. That's part of the rapid progression that we saw. It wasn't just statistically, it was in what he was doing out there on the court, his comfort level, the way that he was attacking defenses. He was continuously adapting while they adapted to him. And this was all mid-season while he's still adjusting to the NBA, figuring out how to operate in an 82-game season, you know, with the travel and everything. It was a brand new experience for him, and yet he was still putting this all together and consistently improving at such a rate. Imagine what he's going to do coming into this next year with a full offseason under his belt to work on his game, get in the best shape of his life, which it seems like he is. I mean, he's put pictures out there where he's clearly a lot stronger, he's put on some weight, and looks ready to just bully people on the court. And we haven't even really talked about that defense part yet. Jalen Williams was tasked with covering basically every position last year, whether it's a point guard, a shooting guard, a small forward, a power forward, even sometimes bigs. J-Dub had to cover a wide range of ground, and he held his own against a variety of players with varying skill sets across each of those positions. He is so versatile defensively, and a big part of that is his wingspan, the ability to play a lot bigger than he is. He utilizes those physical tools so well, and part of that is his ability to rack up steals. Jalen Williams last year, finished with the 12th most total steals in the entire league, which is impressive. But if we take a look at January to the end of the season, that window where Jalen Williams really started coming to his own and got more opportunities as a consistent starter, he was tied over that span with the most steals in the NBA alongside Fred VanVleet with 54. He was continuously getting in passing lanes. He's so good at anticipating moves from opposing players, utilizing that wingspan to poke the ball away, his speed to go ahead and grab the loose ball. He can also finish in transition, which makes him even more dangerous when he gets those pokeaways. He's really dangerous to go up against as an offense. If you throw a single lazy pass, make one lazy crossover, or even if you try to go up for a lob, Jalen Williams is going to contest that. He's going to knock it away, or at least make things incredibly difficult against any number of players at really almost any position. Now, I know defense isn't all about steals, of course, but even if you just look at some of the key defensive plays he made throughout the season, he showed what he's capable of. Again, guarding all positions pretty much, being able to switch alongside anybody and hold his own. He wasn't like an elite defender this past season, but he was good, and as a rookie, that's really all you can ask for. Plus, with him getting bigger, putting on more muscle, being ready now physically, knowing what the NBA is like after his rookie season, I think the defense is going to be way better than it was last season, and it was already pretty good. Not only did he guard 1 through 4, but he played 1 through 4. He started a majority of games at that power forward position. As a 6'5" guy who's more likely a 2 or a 3, he has the versatility to move up to that spot and be really effective there. That's something that's really rare amongst players, and is another reason why I'm so high on him. His versatility, his ability to adapt to whatever the Thunder need. He's really like a basketball chameleon out there, where you put him in a scenario, he's going to find a way to be effective, to help the team, and thrive in his own right. His viability in all types of lineups and all types of situations allowed him to become a feature part of the offense this past season. He was given more and more free reign because of how effective he was, and it resulted in the jumps that we talked about. But again, the efficiency didn't drop, so I could see something similar this season where he's given even more reign because of how good he was last year, and that efficiency, again, even if it drops a little bit, I think it'll mostly stay the same, especially since he's going to be playing on a really talented roster with Josh Giddey, who can play make for him, Shea, who's going to take a lot of the offensive pressure off of him, Chet Holmgren, who can set some screens, can be a lob threat, which could be a really fun two-man game between the two of those guys. You've got Vasilije Micic coming in from the EuroLeague, who's a really high-level passer and scorer that will allow J-Dub to play a bit more freely too, having another threat out there. This Thunder team is going to be really good this upcoming season, which will only allow J-Dub to operate more freely because some of that attention will be taken off of him. I really think months like the March that he had are going to become more of the norm for him in this upcoming year. Now, I don't know if he'll have a consistent 66 true shooting percentage because that's kind of ridiculous, but I do think good efficiency while putting up a near 25-5 is very possible over multiple months for J-Dub this season. I wouldn't even be surprised if his stat line looks something similar to that at the end of the year itself. I will say I don't think he quite gets there because we've got a lot of talent between Shea, progression from Giddey, Chet coming into the fold like I mentioned, Micic, Case and Wallace. There are so many great young players on this roster. It's going to be hard for J-Dub to put up like a 25-5 season, but I don't think it's unrealistic to think that it's possible, and especially as he gets better and we get further into his career, I think at some point he's going to reach that threshold and become an all-star caliber player, and maybe even an all-defensive guy if he continues to grow at the rate that we've seen him grow on that end of the court. He's just so effective. He knows how to use his tools, and with the Thunder, I believe becoming one of the better defenses in the league, he's going to get a lot of attention. So to sum it all up, J-Dub is coming off a rookie season where he was insanely versatile positionally, playing 1 through 4 for the Thunder and being effective both on and off ball at any of those spots. He was versatile defensively, being one of the NBA's league leaders in steals and holding his own against a variety of positions, while also just possessing great physical tools to become one of the league's better wing defenders. He improved across the board in the 3 main statistical categories every single month while maintaining good efficiency, all of which resulted in finishing firmly in second place in Rookie of the Year voting, despite not only not being a top 10 pick, but not even starting the year in the starting lineup. Now he's got a full offseason to improve, something that he did a lot of during the year itself, so I can only imagine what it looks like when he spent a whole summer in the gym, not to mention the fact that he'll be playing on a Thunder team that's got more talent this year than it did last season, which will only open up the game for him more and allow him to be better than he's ever been in the past. So you can probably see why I'm so high on Jalen Williams. Again, this Thunder young core is one of the best in the league. I think most people would say it is the best. That's my personal and probably somewhat biased opinion. And Jalen Williams is a big reason why. He is going to be so good, like way better than most people are realizing. I think casual fans are really going to learn his name this upcoming season and realize that he's one of the best young players in the entire league. I still can't believe we managed to get him with the 12th overall pick. I will probably never believe that. And the fact that we got him and Chet in the same draft, never mind, Usman Jang, who I think could still be really good, like, and then Jalen Williams, who is a good backup big as well. Like, such a great draft class from Sam Presti, and I think J-Dub could maybe end up being the best one out of it. I'm still really high on Chet, so we'll see what happens there. But regardless, can't wait to see what he does this season. Let me know down in the comments what you think he averages on the season, points per game, rebounds, and assists. What does he shoot? Do you agree that he could one day be an all-star, even an all-defensive guy? When do you think that happens? And where do you think he lands this season? Do you think he's the Thunder's second best player, third, fourth? We've got a really good young core, so I wouldn't be surprised if you put him at any of those spots. But yeah, leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos. If there's any other young players or teams that you want to see me make breakdowns of going into this upcoming season, let me know. We've got a lot of off-season to get through. But yeah, appreciate y'all watching. I'll see y'all later. Real one, say it back.